Other road users are sensible enough to move aside when they see the convoy approaching. But the suspect himself doesn't have such a rational view of things. As is so often the case in high-speed pursuits, with no provocation from the police, he panics. Undecided about taking a left turn, his car spins out of control and swerves wildly across the road beneath this bridge. And instead of admitting defeat, when this officer attempts to block his path, narrowly overtakes another.
Hit with such force. He was probably going around 35 miles an hour or so when he hit me head on. Both the airbags
into the sedan.
Unfortunately, the car skids to a halt just inches from the tracks, and the police move in.
There's no telling.
We're in Brownsville, Texas, where a wanted man has just raced through this intersection at high speed. Police attempted to pull the man over, but he refused to stop, and now they're chasing him down. The suspect has several outstanding charges against his name, and is now traveling dangerously fast compared to the rest of the rush hour traffic. Thankfully, he decides to head away from the residential part of town and is soon careering along the interstate instead. There are now 3 police cruisers on his tail, and speeds are approaching a hair-raising 90 miles per hour. Visibility may be good, but these officers don't want to risk anything out of the ordinary. They drive along in formation and keep a watchful eye on their suspect in case he makes any rash moves. Sure enough, he suddenly veers right at the next off-ramp. And despite one cruiser nearly colliding with a temporary road sign, everyone makes it through unscathed. This change of direction allows the cops to gain some ground, and as the chase continues north, the trooper we're on board with moves alongside his colleagues. This allows us to get a decent look at the suspect's car for the first time. At least he's driving in a straight line. But at this sort of speed, one false move could spell disaster, and he doesn't appear to have any intention of slowing down. Other road users are sensible enough to move aside when they see the convoy approaching. But the suspect himself doesn't have such a rational view of things. As is so often the case in high-speed pursuits, with no provocation from the police, he panics. Undecided about taking a left turn, his car spins out of control and swerves wildly across the road beneath this bridge. And instead of admitting defeat, when this officer attempts to block his path, the suspect recklessly plows into his front fender. Now they've been provoked, these Brownsville troopers waste no time in retaliating. As the wanted man struggles to maintain control, cruisers are swarming around him on all sides. And it isn't long before they've barged him off the road for good. He's still got his foot on the gas, but with his car pinned against the curb, there's nowhere left to go. Although the suspect doesn't appear to have a weapon, these officers can't be too careful and surround the vehicle with their guns drawn. Several of them attempt to gain entry to the car. But he's stubbornly refusing to unlock his door, and it takes a tense few seconds before they can finally put on the handcuffs. To add to his original drug warrants, the suspect now faces charges of assault on a police officer and evading arrest. A patrol car in Pasadena, California, has just spotted a white pickup truck wanted in connection with a robbery. As the white pickup makes a break for the open road, its driver opens fire on the chasing deputy.
Just shot at me. Shots fired, shots fired.
The officer is thankfully uninjured and continues his pursuit. He now knows that the suspect not only has a weapon, but that he's prepared to use it. For the public's safety, the patrolman will have to make every effort to stop this potentially dangerous suspect. As they speed through a residential area, he narrowly overtakes another pickup. He overtook the truck a split second before it turned into a driveway. Traveling at these furious speeds, the cop had no real chance to react. After a 90-minute chase by other officers, the suspect was later caught and charged with attempted capital murder and aggravated robbery.
Charlotte, North Carolina. A man has stolen a car that is almost perfect for outracing pursuing officers. A Mercedes-Benz 400 SE with 300 horses under the hood.
Come on, guys, you gotta move, gotta move, gotta move.
But waiting in the wings is a secret weapon. A South Carolina trooper driving a super-equipped Ford Mustang.
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
The smaller Mustang dogs the more powerful Benz relentlessly. Other vehicles like this motorcycle gladly give way. When two trucks block the road ahead, the suspect passes on the right and quickly races off. The frustrated trooper has to wait.
I can't get by these trucks.
Watch again. He blitzes past the double rig on the right, coming within inches of these merging cars. Other units quickly catch up to him, but traffic is thick now and the suspect swerves right into a construction zone. The officer tries to block the Benz from escaping. He smashes directly into the side of the big German car. But again, the Mercedes muscles its way through.
Going back to South Carolina.
Back on surface streets, the officer catches up, pulling even with the suspect. But up ahead, a van, headed straight for them. From the unit behind, we see the suspect playing a dangerous game of chicken. To save an innocent life, the trooper pulls aside and lets the Mercedes pass.
You had to do it, bud.
Down the road, the Mercedes loses the Mustang by turning on a dime into a gas station.
Somebody get in front of me.
The other officers quickly take up the slack. A trooper tries to force the Mercedes to spin out, but this Benz was built to hug the road, and it's not letting go. This elegant German car is falling apart. To make matters worse, it's now rush hour, and the suspect is headed back to the freeway. Officers need to end this chase now.
All right, Jack, right here. I'm coming up behind.
A determined trooper rides the suspect's bumper. The Mercedes begins to swerve, but hangs on. One more nudge, and the Mercedes goes flying up the freeway on-ramp out of control. And this chase is over. What used to be an $85,000 luxury sedan is now scrapped. What used to be a car thief is now an inmate, serving 20 years. And the South Carolina Mustang, still chasing them down.
Right. But in doing so, he's totaled one of his front wheels. He knows he won't get far with his car in this state. So astonishingly, he leaps from the driver's seat. The stolen vehicle is spinning out of control and straight towards it. Fortunately, the car skids to a halt just inches from the tracks, and the police move in. Before he was finally arrested, the 25-year-old suspect tried to jump on board the very train that nearly killed him.
Another trick. The troopers aren't taking any chances. The frightened civilian gets out of the way as the suspect's 1,500-mile run for the border is finally brought to an end.